people believe them. I think that means is significant, but they're not off celebrating
Yeah, I
because
know.
it doesn't, at the end of the day, Mike, this doesn't feel good.
Leah Remini is speaking out following Danny Masterson's sentencing for rape. On Thursday, the former That 70s Show star was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison after being convicted on 2 of 3 counts of rape in May, according to NBC News. As Access Hollywood previously reported, the jurors were deadlocked on a 3rd count and spent 7 days deliberating over 2 weeks. Now that Masterson has been sentenced, the 53-year-old actress is speaking out against the actor and the Church of Scientology on her podcast, Scientology with Leah Remini and Mike Rinder, explaining the experience in the courtroom with the victims and how it feels now that he has been sentenced.
As I sat there, Mike, in the courtroom, and, I had Trout on one side, Chrissy, Jane Doe, one, I just, all I could do was keep reaching over, grabbing their hands, just because I was like, you guys fought to be here.
Right.
And the emotion and the composure, the courage that it took for them to fight, to be here, to get this justice. And I don't think they really understand, and I hope maybe they represent hope for Scientology victims. They are literally the beacon of strength and courage, and they are true heroes because they have no idea how many texts I get about them, about how a little piece of their Scientology victim was healed by what they were willing to do. And it doesn't come today, it doesn't end like, oh, aren't we all celebrating? We're not. This doesn't feel good to them. This doesn't it feels good only that they were believed. Somebody believed them and said, your rape wasn't your fault. This is what they've been told. This is what they've been taught. This is what they've been brainwashed. And people believe them. I think that means is significant, but they're not off celebrating.
Yeah,
because it doesn't, at the end of the day, Mike, this doesn't feel good for anybody.
Remini is a former member of Scientology and has been a vocal critic since leaving the organization. She also released a statement on social media, writing in part, quote, "For over 2 decades, Danny Masterson avoided accountability for his crimes. While Danny was the only one sentenced, his conviction and sentence are indictments against Scientology, its operatives, and its criminal leader David Miscave." Adding, quote, "I am relieved that this dangerous rapist will be off the streets and unable to violently assault and rape women with the help of Scientology, a multi-billion-dollar criminal organization with tax-exempt status." Hearing the survivors read their victim impact statements aloud in court while the man who raped them and some of the very Scientologists who terrorized them over 2 decades were just a few feet away displayed a level of bravery that I am in awe of. The Church of Scientology pointed Access Hollywood to a previous statement issued in August, where they deny all wrongdoing, which reads in part, quote, "The court statement of church doctrine was her own invention, dead wrong, and blatantly unconstitutional. The church has no policy prohibiting or discouraging members from reporting criminal conduct of anyone, Scientologist or not, to law enforcement. Quite the opposite, church policy explicitly demands Scientologists abide by all laws of the land. All allegations to the contrary are totally false." They also pointed to another statement issued in early August about Remini, which reads in part, quote, "Remini's obsession with attacking her former religion by spreading falsehoods and hate speech has generated threats of and actual violence against the church and its members, as evidenced by multiple criminal convictions of individuals poisoned by Remini's propaganda." On Thursday, the former That 70s Show star was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison after being convicted on 2 of 3 counts of rape in May, according to NBC News. As Access Hollywood previously reported, the jurors were deadlocked on a 3rd count and spent 7 days deliberating over 2 weeks. The charges against Masterson stem from alleged sexual assaults committed against 3 different accusers at the actor's Hollywood Hills home between 2001 and 2003. Masterson's accusers spoke out during the hearing, with one reportedly calling him, quote, "a true coward and heartless monster," and another saying that she is still grappling with her trauma. Masterson did not take the stand in the trial and did not speak at Thursday's hearing. He has consistently denied the allegations against him since his 2020 arrest. In December, the jury in his first trial failed to reach a verdict and the judge declared a mistrial. All three accusers met Masterson through the Church of Scientology, of which he is still a member. The church has denied the women's claims that they were discouraged to report the allegations to police. In addition to the women Masterson was charged and convicted of raping, 2 more accusers testified in the retrial per NBC News. Following the sentencing, District Attorney Reinhold Mueller spoke to the press about the case.
I've gotten to know the victims in this case quite well over the years, and I can tell you they're strong. We're committed to making sure that justice gets served, and today they got it. The judge imposed a an aggregate sentence of 30 years to life, which we believe is the appropriate sentence in this case. And based on certain case law that the judge cited, as well as the manner in which these offenses were committed, she found justification for the fact that these sentences needed to be run consecutively for a total of 30 to life. And that was the right decision. I have to say that I'm extremely proud of the named victims in this case for coming forward, for enduring the long time that it took to get to justice today. But I was so happy to see them in court when they were able to get up there, give their impact statements, and have their voices be heard, and to be able to express themselves on the significance of the impact that the crimes had upon them. It was wonderful to see, and this is a day for them. This is a moment for them, and I'm just very pleased.
Sean Hawley, co-counsel for Masterson, also weighed in on the sentencing, releasing a statement that reads in part, quote, "The errors which occurred in this case are substantial and unfortunately led to verdicts which are not supported by the evidence. And though we have great respect for the jury in this case and for our system of justice overall, sometimes they get it wrong, and that's what happened here. Mr. Masterson did not commit the crimes for which he has been convicted, and we, and the appellate lawyers, the best and brightest in the country, are confident that these convictions will be overturned." Access Hollywood has been following the trial since 2020, from when he was first arrested.
Actor Danny Masterson has been charged with the forcible rapes of 3 women, and he's maintaining his innocence. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office announced in a press release that the That 70s Show alum had been charged with 3 counts of rape by force or fear for 3 separate incidents prosecutors allege occurred between 2001 and 2003, while his Fox sitcom was on the air. LA's Deputy Attorney of the Sex Crimes Division broke down the timeline of the alleged rapes, all of which are claimed to have occurred in Masterson's home. The television star is accused of raping a 23-year-old woman in 2001, a 28-year-old woman in April 2003, and a different 23-year-old woman between October and December of that same year. Masterson's arraignment is set for September 18th, where he will be expected to enter his plea. Following the charges, the 44-year-old's attorney released a statement in his defense, which read, "Mr. Masterson is innocent, and we're confident that he will be exonerated when all of the evidence finally comes to light and witnesses have the opportunity to testify." It continued, "Obviously, Mr. Masterson and his wife are in complete shock, considering that these nearly 20-year-old allegations are suddenly resulting in charges being filed. But they and their family are comforted knowing that ultimately the truth will come out. The people who know Mr. Masterson know his character and know the allegations to be false." If convicted as charged, prosecutors say Masterson could face a maximum sentence of 45 years to life in state prison. Also, the district attorney's office said at least 2 other allegations had been made against the TV star, but that they had declined to file sexual assault charges against him in those cases. One due to insufficient evidence, and the other because the statute of limitations had lapsed. The charges against Masterson follow a long investigation by the Los Angeles Police Department. Authorities first revealed back in 2017 that they were conducting an investigation involving the actor after 3 women came forward accusing him of rape. At the time, Masterson denied the allegations, but was hit with career repercussions. Netflix dropped Masterson from his show, The Ranch, which he appeared in with his former 70s show co-star, Ashton Kutcher. Masterson is a member of the Scientology community, and Leah Remini, an outspoken former member, has been one of the leading advocates for justice for his accusers. She notably interviewed 2 of them in last year's series finale of her show, Scientology and the Aftermath, where they went in depth about Masterson and the alleged intimidation they claim they face from the church after speaking out against him. Following news of the charges against Masterson, Remini tweeted, "Finally, victims are being heard when it comes to Scientology. Praise the Lord. This is just the beginning, Scientology. Your days of getting away with it is coming to an end."